All right, guys, here we are to talk about episode 29, season 2 of the Twilight Zone. So what'd you think about this episode?
How did I take so many notes about an episode that had nothing in it?
There's such
That's
a
amazing.
loose concept here, which ultimately I didn't hate, but I think the episode is lacking. There's irony, I suppose, but ultimately, is this even a thing? So you have a guy who's a librarian. Somehow he's survived, and
well, he was a carpenter. He was a carpenter. They're very clear about the fact that he only got by on his carpentry.
Yes, but when they ask him what is he doesn't say carpenter. So his
making,
profession in quotes.
He's making a or he's too old to be a carpenter now, and he likes books, and he's like, "Fuck the system," and shows up.
For
and
a system to even get to the point it's at now. And he's had to hide a Bible for the last, 20 years or something? This has been in my desk.
Yeah.
How are there even books?
There's so many books.
He has, a bunch of books in plain sight. The judge is holding a book. On his left, there's a book.
Well,
when he's on the stand, on the corner of that table, there's
a book?
It looks like written word.
Oh. Well, I mean, a book, or how to be a servant of the state.
At the best case, it was it was like an organ folder thing, like one of those.
Oh, no, yeah, the guy's holding a binder.
Book.
So I'm assuming they have, so when he says books, obviously, right, we're assuming he means literary works of fiction or whatever, or history and stuff like that.
You could have a librarian for rule books,
yes,
too.
you totally could, and that's I chose to skip over that problem and then just be aghast at the fact that he has so many books, because the guy literally, and it's only 20 minutes, so at the 7-minute mark or whatever it was, he says, "There are no more books," and then it cuts to that guy's apartment, it's full of books, and I'm like, isn't he in trouble for all these books, not just the Bible? Are the rest of these books just instruction manuals? What's going on?
Seemingly no one's going through his books.
No,
he could have just re-jacketed the Bible and kept it on the shelf.
I know.
I didn't get what the issue was there.
Yeah.
And I also think it's very ridiculous that the terms of the man's death. He's put to death for being what is the word?
Obsolete.
Obsolete. That's right. So he's put to death for being obsolete, and they say oh, yes, you can have your death filmed. Sure, you can have whatever means of death you want. Yes, we'll do that. That's fine. And then nobody talks about it. It is somehow kept a complete secret. They rig a bomb in his building. He lives in an apartment building, first of all.
I know.
And I'm like, all right, that's weird. There are rules.
They throw in a little comment that was your doing. Isolate the person to be eliminated or whatever. As if to say, did they empty the apartment building?
Exactly. He was in his apartment. He wasn't put off into a death chamber.
Right. So it's what?
So that doesn't make sense.
Also locking the bottom lock of a door and that's your death sentence.
Yeah, now you're trapped.
I'd be like, no, I'm not.
That easily could have been done with a thing with once this button is pushed or a death lock starts.
No. One of my notes is lockdown, maybe do something. Actually, trick the guy. Tell him that the assassin comes back and will kill anyone in the room or whatever. And then the door's locked. And then he says, okay, Operation 39 lockdown maneuvers. And he and then it all shuts. Then he goes, I'm lying. It was a bomb the whole time. And he goes, what? And he goes, the lockdown cannot be rescinded for 24 hours. Or and this whole fucking thing happens, right? Do something like that.
It's so weird and foolish.
Yeah.
And then yes, it was a single key on a shitty lock. He had 3 hours. He couldn't break out.
I know.
And why?
He could have gone through the wall next to the door in 3 hours.
Why
right?
would much less than that. Why would nobody who's watching, especially before it got to the point of him being a begging oh, he's a sap, go he broke the rules, and just have them come right in immediately.
Yeah.
When he was cool, calm, and collected.
No, and they also try to explain that. He gives the whole thing you kind of have to accept that for the whole thing to work.
Yeah, there was a big conceit.
Rescuing you will be quite demeaning and beneath them or whatever, and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of.
Or will proving that they can't be fucked with be valuable?
Yeah, I don't think any of that would even I think in a future like this, there's already a camera in your house because you bought it, and Amazon or Google sold it to you, right? It's the flipping or whatever. No, this is so I have not read Brave New World or 1984 because I am functionally illiterate. But I think that I've been hearing this meme for a while that like back in like the time of this episode being filmed, everyone thought it was going to be 1984 Big Brother is watching you, but they flipped around now where it's going to be like Harrison Bergeron, like there's like entertainment, and we've all opted into the no privacy and just life is better this way and all that easy. It's not like this authoritarian boot to your neck. It's like, well, Alexa, just yes, yeah, it's listening, but like it hell yeah, hey, is a recipe for chicken cacciatore? Okay, and it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
like,
there's a certain amount you will give up for just ease of life.
Yeah.
But this episode, nothing struck me as like, oh, that makes sense. And like the way when the man, he gets let out, spoilers, and like, then he's obsolete because he prayed to God and he was a weakling and
they didn't even play that up though.
I know the angle they went with was so ridiculous, and then how everyone immediately sprung into like kung fu stance,
like it was a musical.
Yeah, I was like, oh, the Sharks versus the Jets.
Yeah, I was like, dun 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 dun. It was just doing that thing. I'm like, what's happening here?
And like they're just average, like blue collar, not even blue collar. They're like white collar. I work, yeah. And I'm like, all right, push come to shove, I think I could beat 28 of these people's asses and get the fuck out of here.
Could that guy though? Maybe.
I think it's the moment you are that cat backed against the wall when like you're like, all right, who's gonna get scratched? Like,
you know what they say about cats backed up against the wall? They always land on their feet.
They kill 28 chumps.
They kill 28 chumps.
But
yeah.
It just felt very frustrating because the episode just didn't seem like the payoff. I'm like, you got him, but you didn't get him.
No, they started from the end and they worked their way back for this, right?
I think what would have been the ultimate thing here would have been at midnight. Like he goes, fine, you can get out, and when he opens the door and a guy runs out, there's just a guy with an injection ready to inject him,
and
like making a thing like oh,
like
you were scared for nothing. There was no Bob. Like it didn't even make a bomb. What are you doing?
Yeah, like you could have made a point about like. If someone restricts you and then feeds you lies about reality, that you react,
exactly.
Right? You could have done all this,
and that would have been a
stuff.
nice twist on their world there, and people watching would have been like, huh, maybe everything we're told isn't true, and it could have actually done something. This, I'm like, what did that do? And why would you even want that on film? Hey, this film's just going to turn off at some point because he blew up. Did he?
Right. It would just cut out, basically, as the explosion engulfs the room type of thing.
Now, who learns from that? Nobody. They don't get anything out of this.
Now, I think this one in particular, of all the episodes, because some of like the dialogue's fine, the speeches are good. Delusions you inject into your veins with painter's ink and all that stuff.
Yeah.
All these cool things. I'm like, oh, this is dialogue-y. This is nice, speechy stuff. But like, in like the 40 years since this was produced or whatever, like so many other things have happened or something like that.
Yeah.
We've like this is not just like one of the common thing. This is like one of like the top 10. Like this is like the story, right? You're part of this authoritarian system, and then you are like participating in doing something, and then you question the things, and then it turns out the system is also like the guy who was his lackey gets promoted and then judges him. Like it was very this is super standard. Like wait, but I'm not the one, and like oh it's so bad because systems like this, no one is safe, not even you, the loyal whatever, right? It's the very standard.
And since there's no actual judging or jurying or anything, you're just guilty if you're ever assumed.
Yeah.
It's really, I was like, well, all right then. That's dumb. There's no point in arguing. That's why you should turn to violence immediately. That's what it teaches me.
In the very beginning, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be low budget Orwellian exploration, like I just said, and we'll probably never leave this. It'll be like the trial and him proving and tricking and doing stuff or whatever.
But it wasn't.
And then it was like, oh no, we're cutting away. Why are we doing that? Oh, okay, because this is the thing with the whatever.
Yeah, this episode was so for me.
Definitely so. I think, again, like, Super suffers from its being dated narratively, right? Because, like, Equilibrium does this. Like, everything does this. This is, like, super common. Justice Lords, like, everything is this. Is like, wait, even me? Yes, even you. The system doesn't care about your loyalty or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Hey, guys, it's bad to do that. Okay, I know. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so maybe in the revamped 2048 version of the Twilight Zone, this will be a really dope-ass episode.
There's probably a Black Mirror episode that already does this, right? And does it better, right? Something like that.
Yeah, kind of.
That fits more with modern world, but yeah.
All right, guys, that's our thoughts on this episode of the Twilight Zone. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.